Yo, what is up, guys? Back again with another video. First and foremost, just thank you for the support on the first video. That's crazy to me that that video got as much views as it did, and the comments, and I appreciate y'all checking in and just saying what's up. So, that's super cool to me. So I appreciate you guys. Um, yeah. Without further ado, let's just get into it. This is going to be about the time where I got so lifted that I started getting visuals. Now, if you've never had visuals on the grass, we'll call it. Um, it can happen, yeah. Some people it happens after they take psychedelics. Some people it happens when they take edibles because the edible will turn into a different cannabinoid. Blah blah blah. I said something a little bit like that in my last episode. That is how some people know it, but for me, I had a little bit of both. So I will just get into it. This happened actually in like a forest preserve. It was kind of crazy, but basically, I hit up my boys, Michael and Conrad, we'll call them, and I was like, "Yo, you guys trying to hang out? What's good?" And we decided on me and Michael are just gonna go up to Conrad's house because he kind of lives far. He moved away for college, but it's still driving distance. So me and Michael decided let's crash at Conrad's place, and we'll go and we'll smoke up, get some food. It'll be nice. And Conrad tells us that he has like a cool little forest trail by his house. So we're like, bet. So we decide to head there. He has a little, Conrad has a little dinner beforehand. So we're like, okay, we waited out. Me and Michael are chilling. And then we finally head to Conrad's house. And I'm not going to lie, this took forever. Like, I think we got to Conrad's house by 11:30. And keep in mind, he has a far drive. It's not like he's just in town. We kind of got to go to his house and drive, and it's out of the way. So I was a little annoyed by that, but if he's hosting, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it cool. I'm gonna be nice. So we finally pull up to Conrad's house, and we get settled. And me personally, I was ready to smoke. It was already late, and I'm not really a stay up late kind of guy. So I was ready to smoke. I was ready to vibe. I was just ready to chill. And so we get adjusted a little bit, and we're in Conrad's house, and I'm like, let's go. Like I'm ready, and he's like, nah, let's chill for a little bit. So we get on Conrad's computer, blah blah blah, and he has a cart. So I'm like, all right, might as well kick it off with a little some. I hit 3 4 rips off the cart, nothing crazy. Michael takes some pretty long rips off the cart, and I had brought some J's and some Eddies, and so Michael's like, yo, can I get an Eddie? I was like, of course. So I give him an Eddie, and he takes some rips off the cart. We're chilling, and I'm like, all right, boys, like you ready to go? Like let's go. And Conrad's like, I'm kind of hungry. I was like, all right, like let me DoorDash some food, and by the time we come back from the walk, it'll be good. We'll be lifted, and we'll eat. He's like, nah, bro, let's just get it first, and then we'll go on the trail, and then we'll. It was stupid, but it's not that big of a deal. So I DoorDash it. We got Domino's. Domino's is not the best. I'm not a big Domino's guy, but Domino's cheap. That's the thing. Domino's cheap. They had a crazy deal going on. We got 4 pizzas for the price of like 2, plus some garlic knots. It was fire. You guys already know it's fire. So we get the pizza. We all take a bite or two, and we're finally like, let's head out. After all this waiting, I am hype. I'm ready to go on this little forest walk. Let's go. And so we head out. We go into the forest, and off rip, I start sparking up. I'm ready. I've been waiting for this. We get into it. Now, to preface, me and Conrad, we smoke. Conrad maybe a bit more than me. Me personally, I don't smoke by myself at all. I'm only a social smoker. I don't know about Conrad, to be honest. He has the cart. Like I don't have a cart. I only got rolled. Things I rolled up. So, and Michael has such a low tolerance. Like he's smoked before. He's taken Eddies before, but I don't know, something about him. Like he just got a bad tolerance. Not a bad tolerance necessarily, but a super low tolerance. It's to the point where like Off of 5 milligram edible, he will like be uncontrollably laughing. Off 10 milligrams, like he'll go nonverbal. Like it's bad. So with that in mind, I still pass him to Jay. You know, we're trying to get him a little elevated. So I give it to him, and he's passing to Connor. Puff puff pass. You know, just got the rotation going. It's nice, and it's dark. By the time we got out of the house, it's probably like 12:30. Got there at 11:30. Ordered the pizza at like 12. The pizza got there at like 12:30. So we finally headed out. So it was late. It's pitch black. It's a little light because we can see the street lights and the neighborhood lights, but it's dark. And so I'm using my phone flashlight. Michael's using his phone flashlight, and we're passing this J. And we finished that, and I light up a second one. You know, we're moving, we're good. And I got my water with me. You know, I'm drinking it every now and then. It's going down smooth. I'm handling it. Michael, not so much. He taps out fast, and honestly, good because with kind of where we ended up, I don't know how good things would have been if he was way too paranoid or whatever. So Michael taps out. Michael is done. Me and Conrad, you know, we still here. So we finished that second J, and I'm feeling it. You know, I'm not uncontrollable, but I'm definitely feeling it. I'm feeling good. I'm relaxed. You guys know how it is. And all of a sudden, I see something like crawling on the floor. I don't know what it is, but it's just fast. And I put my flashlight onto it, and I'm like, dude, it's a snake. Now I'm gonna put a video on the screen for you guys. It was not a snake. Trap his ass. He gonna crawl in my pants. I don't know why I thought that was a snake. I don't know why. That's how high I was. Like I said, I have a pretty low tolerance, but it was scurrying everywhere, and I was. That's how I knew how cooked I was, because I thought the centipede or a millipede or whatever was a snake. But we carry on, and eventually Conrad's like, all right, guys, we could go this way and finish the trail, or we can go this way, which is a little bit longer, but there's a nice spot. And of course, like, yeah, we got to go to the spot. We're finally, you know, finally arriving at this majestic spot that you have been telling us about. So we're crawling up the stairs, and there's like 8 flights of stairs. It feels like it's real up there. And at this point, we're away from almost all of the houses nearby, because this little forest preserve area kind of trails. I guess it's not a forest preserve, but this little trail that we're on is like in the middle of like a bunch of neighborhoods. Conrad's neighborhood is nice. It's nice enough to where he got HOA. Like when me and Michael pulled up to his house, he was like, "Hey, you guys can't park on the sidewalk overnight." Bro, I gotta park my own car at my own spot on the sidewalk overnight. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't know if that's weird to y'all, but I'm not in like a crazy nice neighborhood. Like, I don't got HOA. Like, I'm in a lower middle class spot, and I'm grateful to be there. His place was insane. But we're on this trail, and we're climbing up the stairs, and we get there, and it's kind of like a little patio that has stone walls on the 3 sides of it that aren't the stair side, and it's surrounded by bushes. And get up there, you know what I gotta do? I gotta spark up again. So I pull out my third J, and me and Conrad, we just going at it. You know, we having fun, and I'm not passing it to Michael anymore because he's starting to get to the point where he's like a little sketched out, and that's fine because we know how he is. But the vibe was just kind of, you know, we were smoking. It was a good time. We had no responsibilities. We was gonna sleep. We was actually gonna go back to the house and drink after, but that didn't happen. And Michael just won't stop. He's like, dude, there's an animal. Like, I hear something. Like, it smells, and like the lights are so bright. And I'm like, all right, all right. So, with my incredible critical thinking while I am under the influence, I climb over the stone wall and walk down to the surrounding bush area. And on the hill, I find a big rock. Keep in mind, Michael's a pretty big guy. I'm not a huge guy. I'm tall and skinny white guy. So I grab this rock, climb all the way back up, and I give it to Michael. I was like, here, wherever you think it's at, throw the rock, hit the animal, do whatever, scare it off, and then we'll be good. You know, that then you can relax, we'll be fine. Michael's like, okay, okay. Bro, he takes it and launches this thing. I thought he was just gonna lob it and you know, toss it in a little bit. He lobs this thing. And it doesn't even like go into the trees at first. It's in the air and it just now it didn't go it went crack. I have no idea what he hit. I don't know if it was glass, it was a fence or whatever. I was faded. All I knew is we gotta get out of here. And Michael goes, "Oh my god, oh no, oh no." I'm like, "Michael, let's go. Like, we gotta go." Like, it was just all bad. And so we start walking back, get away from that. And keep in mind, we gotta go down 8 flights of stairs. And as we're all going downstairs, all of us simultaneously, I think that's how you say that, realize how high we are. And we're going down the stairs. And we're going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." Like, it was bad. Like, my feet were not stepping correctly and I had to go fast because we were panicking. It was bad. And this is when the visuals started to come in a little bit. I said started weird. The visuals started to come in a little bit. I'm looking at the floor and it just doesn't look right. And lights are looking weird. But, you know, at this point, I got adrenaline pumping. I'm going. So I get out of there. And we all finally hit the ground and we're like, all right, I think we're good. Like, there's so many stairs that it kind of separates us from that area. Let's just keep walking. So Conrad, being the expert, he leads us and we find a crack in the road, or a fork in the road. Not a crack, we found a fork in the road. And he goes, "Listen, if we go to the left, it's a shorter path, but it goes straight home. If we go to the right, it's a nicer path, but it's longer." Michael is freaking out. He's like, "Oh my God, like, let's just take the shorter path." Me and Conrad are like, "No." And we're going back and forth. And there happens to be a little bench at this fork in the road. So we sit down. And in my head, while we're sitting down, we might as well spark up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I spark up again. And I realize, where did my third J go? My fourth J, whatever. I was so high on that little view spot. I don't even know if I finished the joint. Because Michael got so paranoid, he drank all of my water. And I could not get the J down. I was smoking so hard. Me and Conrad were coughing. And this probably sounds like so light to you guys if you guys smoke a lot. 3 or 4 J's is nothing, but I'm of the mindset where once you got a big tolerance and you kind of just smoke to feel anything, kind of loses its fun. No, you spend a lot of money just to get the same high that I can get off of like 5 joints. No shots fired, but you know, I like to keep my tolerance low. I like to keep my tolerance low, and I don't smoke a lot, only socially. So there we go. So I light up again, and me and Conrad go at it, and we come to the conclusion that, "Michael, you're just gonna have to deal with it." So we get up and go on the long route, and what he didn't tell us about this route is it's pitch black. The only thing that we could see were the stars and the moon. And this area is a little more rural and nicer than where I live at. Not a lot of air pollution and light pollution. So we could really see the stars in the sky. And it was beautiful. And as I'm looking at the stars in the sky, they start moving kind of weird. And Michael's freaking out. There's stars connecting and they're making a bigger star. I'm like, "You mean the Big Dipper, bro?" He's like, no. Like, oh my God. And he like takes his glasses off and he like tries to figure out why he's seeing things so weird. And I'm thinking he's tripping. At this point, I'm feeling the same way. But I can keep it cool. And I start noticing I can't see color. I just cannot see color. I look at my phone and the little notification icons that have color, they are black and white. Everything's black and white. I can't see color. The trees are black in a lighter shade of black and gray, and the ground is kind of gray, and it like the only thing that was white were the stars and the blue grayish kind of sky and the moon. I basically could not see colors. And I'm turning my head and I'm looking back and forth and I start seeing little dots, little lines, hundreds and thousands of lines running across my vision every time I turn back and forth. And I just didn't know what was happening. And this is when I started to kind of piece together, man, I'm getting some visuals. And I keep walking forward and I'm telling everybody, everybody, I mean, my two friends, I'm telling them, like, guys, are you like seeing stuff? And they're like, yeah. And in retrospect, it's probably has something to do with like the sensory deprivation and not seeing colors and your eyes adjusting to seeing in the dark and all of that kind of that combination of factors and being high. But I'm walking and my eyes are struggling to focus. Like they don't focus on the correct thing. Usually when you focus, the things in the background kind of look dimmed out or like a little bit darker. My vision keeps flipping between the tree that's lighter and darker and I can't keep my focus right. It's insane. And I keep walking and it looks like the world is being illustrated right in front of my eyes. It looks like that old filter on your phone or on Snapchat where it's like turns things into a comic book. I'm literally seeing stuff get illustrated as I'm looking at it. It is insane. And I'm telling them, I'm like, guys, like, what do you guys see right now? And I kind of describe what I'm seeing. And Conrad tells me it looks like there's a crosshair in his vision and like there's light shooting toward it and everything is spiraling and going toward the crosshair in the middle. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Michael, what about you? Michael's over here walking fast. I said he's a big guy. He's walking as fast as he can to keep up with us, and he's kind of trailing back and then going ahead. He can't even walk normal. And he says, there's a bear. And the bear scratched my screen. There's a little bear, and my screen is scratched. I don't know what he was seeing, bro. Maybe he took a little something else, but he was having some visuals. And this isn't the first time he has had visuals like this. I have another story about him. I might tell it another day. It involves a road trip that me and the boys went on. So I might make a video about that. But he is bugging, and me and Conrad are kind of like, all right, like we gotta get moving, we gotta go. But at the same time, I'm enjoying this, and so I pick up the pace. I'm walking, but I'm starting to kind of get higher and higher as I smoke this joint. And I forgot to mention, as me and Conrad are smoking these joints, he's passing back a cigarette my way. He had Japanese Marlboro Purple double menthols. Let me tell you guys, I'm not a big cigarette guy. Only when I'm under the influence of other substances do I really smoke. Bro, those things are dangerous. It tasted like nothing. It tasted like a vape. It tasted like a vape, dude. It was bad. And I don't think they were super strong. It wasn't like a Marlboro Red or like a harsh or like a Newport kind of or like a something like that. They felt like kind of like golds, but they were strong. I know I was very high, so they were hitting, but they were strong and they hit like a vape. They tasted like bliss, but they were strong in the sense that they made me insane, like insanely high. Like I would hit the cigarette and I just felt like a snap and everything went quiet and my vision like laser focused in and like I kind of had like some effects around the edges of my vision, like a vignette kind of that was moving, but I could just look forward and just have so much focus for like the 1 minute that the nicotine lasted. So that was also happening in between all of that. And when I hit that cigarette, I closed my eyes and I started to see colors again. And this freaked me out because I haven't been able to see colors for a minute. How come I can see colors all of a sudden? You know what I'm talking about? So I see these colors and I'm like, man, like this is crazy. And I'm trying to describe it to my friends. And I probably sounded insane, to be honest. But what I told them was that I could see just a nice baby blue, kind of the color of ice. And the ice was dropping onto the floor and it was turning into an ice pyramid. And then at the top of the ice pyramid, there was two tridents that were shooting out blue fireworks, and the fireworks were bursting and turning into fish that were dropping down back into the bottom of the ocean, and the ocean was turning the fish water into ice, and it was building on the pyramid, and the fireworks kept shooting. Like insane visuals. And now this isn't like a psychedelic visual type of thing. This is more like seeing colors moving and abstract geometry, and it wasn't super fluid. It was like frames per second. It was like a slideshow. It was like tick 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 tick, and I was kind of piecing it together. And like when I say I saw a fish, I didn't see a fish. I saw like an oval with a triangle at the end, and it was that shape. So that's a fish to me in my mind. And I saw a big triangle that looked like it was made out of blue Minecraft blocks. That's a pyramid to me. And so they weren't super vivid visions, but they were definitely closed eye visuals. And I was here for it. I was happy. I was like, man, this is a really interesting thing to have without a psychedelic and without that. And so I'm describing that to them, and they're all like, man, like this is fire. And I just keep embracing these colors. And after a while, I definitely start to come down a little bit. The visuals are harder to get. And I smoke a cig. I hit the fogger and the foger or whatever you want to call it, and I try to get that nicotine to kind of make those visions come back. But they kind of faded as I got less high, and I got my groundings, my bearings. I got grounded, and we end up back home. I know Michael was happy to be back home, and we sit down and we just tore up this pizza we got. Like, I mean, it was bad. Like, I don't eat a lot. I ate that day. I ate like 5 pieces of pizza. It was insane. That might not be a lot for y'all, but that's a lot for me. I'm not a big guy. I don't eat a lot. But when I'm under the influence, I could eat. So we eat. We end up going back to the room, and Michael is so cooked, he just crashes. Like, he's just gone. And that's fine. And I see him and I'm like, man, like, that kind of sounds nice. So I lay down and I end up fading out. I go to sleep, and Conrad goes to sleep too. And I got to wake up super early. I got an appointment back in town where I live. So I had to wake up super early, make this far drive back to town. Yeah, I said bye to everybody. Conrad is like notoriously hard to wake up. So I like said bye to him, and he's half asleep, and you know, I got out of there and everything was good. So that's kind of this story. Hope you guys liked it. Those visuals were really cool, and like they're really tame compared to some other visuals that I've had. Not just off of the grass, but other substances that I might have stories about. So I kind of liked that, and I didn't have to kind of freak out and have the deep thoughts that you get with the psychedelic. But I got to have the fun visuals and hang out with my boys, and it was a nice memory. It was pretty short lived because we got there so late and we ended up passing out, and we got back from the trail. Probably went to bed about 3:30, 4:30. We didn't drink at all, so overall, very solid hangout, very good experience. I'm glad I had it. I don't recommend you guys do that ever. But what I can say is if you are, you know, you kind of get where I'm at, and it's fun. So yeah, that's it for this one. I'll work on another video when I can, and I'll keep pumping them out. I appreciate you guys for watching. Catch y'all later.